Okay, MLB opening night. So they went Netflix for the broadcast, and then they chose Yankees Giants for the matchup. I want to talk about the pregame show and the broadcast and kind of pick apart like just some of the decisions that they made. I feel like there's some contradicting decisions being made with going Netflix, night game, and then Yankees Giants. I think you go Yankees Giants because arguably two of the biggest historic fan bases. The Giants really haven't been that good in a couple of years. The Yankees have been, but they still didn't make the World Series last year. And to go Netflix, it's like I feel like you want as many people to watch the game as possible, and to demand a Netflix subscription to watch the first game of the year is kind of crazy. So the first segment is explaining ABS, like the new automated balls and strikes system, and it's like to go John Cena for that is just such a interesting choice to me. Like, I get that you're trying to probably draw in like a wide pop culture audience with kind of just like a stock celebrity, but it's like, what was the actual rationale behind going with him? I guess like what boxes did he check? And like, I don't know, there wasn't another former player that's in media or just another celebrity that maybe made more sense. I was just shocked to see him on the screen. I was just like, wow, like they really are trying that hard to just choose like a poppin' celebrity to try to like get attention that quick. I don't know. I thought like wasn't the biggest fan of it. And it sounded exactly like you would expect it to. It sounded like a rehearsed actor going over something that he just found out about a week ago. The pregame panel I thought was solid for the most part. Elle Duncan, Pujols, Bonds, Rizzo, and then CC. Pujols and Bonds sound like pretty polished analysts at this point, which I don't know how much work Bonds has done. I think Albert's probably done some stuff, but I thought both were excellent. CC and Rizzo, I think they were great. Just they seemed more like former players that you just gave a mic to, but I think it was still a good lineup of people. Elle Duncan, I know she's doing her best. I think she did a good job for the most part. It's just clear that, she probably hasn't really paid attention to baseball for a while. I didn't catch it more than once, but I saw a lot of people saying that she was saying home base instead of home plate, and it's like, it sounds like a little thing, but at the same time, it's like, it's kind of not a little thing. You got to put somebody out there that knows how to speak the language. There's plenty of, female reporters or, just females in media that probably have a stronger background when it comes to baseball. I don't know if that was just a Netflix decision because she signed with them, but I don't know, probably could have been better there. In my opinion, maybe the best leap that they took was putting Jameis Winston on the pregame broadcast. I know he did some stuff kind of during as well, but to me that makes sense. Like, that is pulling in other fan bases and tapping into culture a little bit more relevantly. He played baseball at Florida State. He was a two-way at Florida State. So the dude won a Heisman and was pitching and hitting in the ACC. I mean, that's, a ridiculous skill set and accomplishment, and he's hilarious. Like, over the last couple years, not even just from his play on the field as a quarterback, but just from social media and like his pregame interviews when he's playing, like he's become kind of a viral internet sensation. So bravo to whoever decided to integrate him into the show. So the two players that I noticed that got pregame segments were Judge and Chisholm, and I think that, that's incredibly intentional. I think, besides Ohtani, Judge is probably the most recognized player in the league right now for a number of reasons. I mean, incredible talent on the field, and I think he does a good job of like visibility off the field as well. And then Jazz Chisholm, I think is like, you just look at who MLB wants to make visible, and it's not just about on-field production. And I think you can really say that about any sport or business these days. It just goes beyond the field at this point. I think Jazz is not necessarily a top 10, 20, 30 player in the league, but he's clicks, he's views, and so they're gonna platform him before the game. I think second to tapping Jameis Winston to be a part of the broadcast was going with Matt Vasgersian to call the game. I think he's a legend. I think almost everybody from my generation knows him as the voice of MLB The Show, an absolute professional, and I think that was an amazing call to go with him. The Bert Kreischer thing to me was a swing and a miss. It kind of just seemed like, what relevant comedian can we get, maybe again like just draw a new audience, and I don't know, like I just don't know if he's that funny or if he's just friends with a lot of people that are funny. Not hating on him, just for me personally, like none of the segments really hit. Didn't think it was that great of content or that funny. It was just kind of more of like a filler distraction to me. And him like emceeing like the pregame, just like, it just wasn't it. Corny decision of the night goes to whatever millennial over at MLB decided to do the taxis and the trolleys in the dugout, like while the players are coming out or being announced. Like, just, I don't even really know what to say to that. It's just like the most like chat GPT, like, hey, like, give me a cool idea to like represent San Francisco and New York. Like, missed on that one. Last comment kind of on the pregame stuff is now you just see betting everywhere, dude. I think you got FanDuel's probably the official partner of MLB, and so you've got Elle Duncan asking the rest of the panel, who do you think's hitting the first home run tonight? These are the odds, and they're showing it on the screen, and it's just like, it's crazy, man. It's nuts how integrated that's become into every single professional sport. A couple thoughts on the actual game. I kind of tried to just enjoy it and not really like mentally pick it apart so much. I think missing the first ever ABS challenge, is a tough look. Cutting away back to a manager interview in the middle of the game, that sucked. Definitely a moment in MLB history, and it's just crazy that they couldn't figure out a way to just like maybe keep the audio going, but keep the video rolling on the actual call. Speaking of the in-game interviews, like, I don't know, I've seen a lot of hate on them. I think people think that they're too long. I think they're a great concept and a good idea. I think maybe they are too long. I think that maybe they could grab somebody else to do it, to be like a in-game interviewer and not have the booth doing it necessarily. It's something that baseball can do and that MLB can do that literally no other sport is really ever possibly going to be able to do. With basketball and football, there's just too much rhythm. There's just too much going on. There's not enough downtime in between plays and too much communication. So I think it's a cool way to like separate coverage for baseball. I think that there could just be some tweaks made to it. Like, I don't know, maybe you throw Pat McAfee in in the bleachers and have him talking to Jazz Chisholm in the middle of the game, something like that. I don't know. And maybe make it shorter. And then the last thing, like the center field angle, I saw some great stuff on the internet about how washed out that angle was, especially with the ads in the background being full color and then like the actual gameplay being completely uncolor graded. I think that was a tough look. But for the most part, I think you look at MLB and baseball is trying really hard to ride the wave of the World Baseball Classic and, how fun that was, how many eyeballs were on the game. And I think you can see the effort with what they're trying to do, going with Netflix, storied franchises, trying to make the pregame show more dynamic, even the in-game coverage more dynamic. I just don't think that effort is enough and that you really need people with real feel that, I don't know, aren't just strictly marketing people. I don't know who's making decisions in MLB on this stuff right now, but, I'd love to see the game that I grew up playing and played at a high level just really capitalize on this wave of momentum that they have. I think you need, people with a proven track record in sports and culture to come in and take the lead on some of this stuff.